You're having problems making people look like what or who you were trying to draw. You don't need a new class. All you need is a new strategy. I'm excited to bring this video to you because I know a lot of people are going to benefit from it. Because I'm going to teach you how to draw things to make them look like what or who you were trying to draw. I've been having a lot of people online and in my in-person classes ask me for the secrets to how to make things look like what they were trying to draw and also enjoy the process. The reason why this is so important is that this is where a lot of people just stop enjoying drawing or stop drawing altogether. In this video, I will teach you what you need to know so that when you draw, you would not only enjoy the process even more, but you will also capture more information in a shorter period of time and nail likeness. But keep in mind, you need to follow every single step that I give you in this video. If you miss something, then it won't work. Now, this process will work for sure. Now, the secrets that I'm going to share with you in this video, I've been teaching for about 15 years. Don't skip around the video because if you do, you're going to miss something. You have to do every step in the order that I give it to you. And you need to do the steps exactly as I give them to you. If you skip around and you take some stuff out here and there, you won't get the results. But if you follow exactly what I'm telling you in exactly the same sequence that I'm telling you how to do it, you will get the results by the end of this video. That is my goal. So what you don't need is fancy art supplies, and you don't need an art degree. This will work today, and it will work starting today if you do the work. Following these steps, you're going to increase your ability to see something and draw it. I've been teaching this for about 20 years, and all of my students have gotten results really fast in one session. And again, watch every bit of the video because if you skip any part, it won't work. Okay, step number 1, stop sketching. This by far is the fastest way to increase your ability to draw from observation. Now, here's my definition of sketching. When you put a line down and then you draw over that line, that's what I consider sketching. The reason we do this is because we're not confident with the line that we put down. When you look at little kids, they usually don't redraw over their lines. And that's because their whole goal and objective is just to have fun with the drawing. It's not to try to make something look a certain way. So when we're in a non-childlike mindset, we're trying to control the drawing. We're trying to be precious. And so we sketch. So that's step 1 is don't sketch. Don't redraw over your lines. Now, what I'm teaching you today is not something that you have to do forever. This is what I call a sprint. That means you just do it for a certain amount of time until it becomes a natural way that you draw. Okay, step 2 is contour drawing. Contour drawing is by far the most powerful exercise that I've seen that helps my students gain confidence in their line work. Contour drawing is basically when you put the pen down on the page and you don't lift it up until you're completely done with the drawing. But the trick is that you're going to add all sorts of details to your drawing. You're going to capture every little tiny speck of detail that you see in the subject that you're drawing. So let's say you're drawing a hand. As you look at this hand, there's wrinkles in the skin, there's little lines in the palm of the hand, there's fingernails, there's the growth of the fingernail, there's a ring on the finger. There's a lot of little details that you want to capture. And when you're doing your contour drawing, basically what you want to do is make sure you go around the hand and capture every single detail. You want to take your time. You want to draw at your own speed. The way that I draw is pretty fast, and that's only because I've been drawing on public transit for years and drawing in cafes. You know, drawing in public transit and cafes, you just never know when somebody's going to get up and leave. So I ended up with a sketchbook full of a lot of half-finished drawings. In order to finish those drawings, I had to learn to get faster over time. But what I will tell you is that drawing fast does not equate to skill level. It doesn't mean that you're good or you're bad just because you draw fast or slow. It just means that that's the natural speed that you draw. Now, my mentor, the person who taught me how to improve my drawing skills really fast, draws really slow. Okay, now we've reached the next step. Step 3 is blind contour drawing. In this exercise, you're going to do the same thing as you did in contour drawing, except you're going to do it blind. You're gonna hold a piece of paper over your drawing so that you can't see what you're drawing. This exercise, I gotta admit, it feels a bit awkward. I don't like doing it to this day, but I do recognize it's even more powerful than contour drawing. Why? Because it's going to force your eyes and your hands to work together in coordination. It's going to force you to analyze exactly what's there and not what you think is there. Do you know most of the reason that people don't make their drawings look how they want them to look is because they're drawing from imagination. A lot of times when we're looking at the paper is because we're trying to control the way the drawing looks. But actually, if you look at the subject more than you look at the paper, then the drawing will come out a lot better. That's a bonus tip. Look at your subject more than you look at the paper and your drawing will come out looking a whole lot better. Now, in blind contour drawing, the goal is not to come out with a drawing that looks really good. If that happens, that's great, that's a plus. But more than likely, your drawing is gonna come out looking like a plate of spaghetti. And that's perfectly fine. You don't even have to worry about it because the goal of this is only so that your eyes and hands can learn to work together in a better relationship. So to give you an example, when people do jumping jacks for warm-ups, if you're about to play some sort of sports and you want to do a warm-up, a lot of times jumping jacks is one of the things. I used to do jumping jacks when I was playing Little League baseball. When you do jumping jacks, no one is worried about the way the jumping jack looks. The only reason that you're doing the jumping jack is to raise your heart rate. You want to get the heart rate up so the body's nice and warm, so when you're doing all this running and jumping and things, you don't stretch a muscle or something like that. So we do jumping jacks. The same thing applies to the contour drawing and the blind contour drawing. Think of them like jumping jacks. The goal is not for them to look great. If it comes out looking great, that's fine, but that's not the goal. You will find that the more you do these exercises, when you go back and draw how you normally want to draw, which is outside of keeping your pen on the page, you will get better really fast. But you will have a lot of blind contour drawings that just look like a plate of spaghetti, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, so now we're going into the next tip, which is don't judge your work while you're working. I can't tell you how many times that I've started a drawing and it felt like it wasn't going in the right direction and I wanted to stop. I used to stop before I met my mentor and he taught me, don't ever finish a drawing before you're finished with the drawing. That means don't turn the page and then start over. You'll never get over those things that are holding you back, those things that you don't like about your drawing. You'll never filter them out of your system if you're constantly turning to the next page. So the way you get over that feeling of wanting to turn to the next page is don't judge your work while you're working. Here's something that I can tell you about that. Just being a kid-like mindset. You know, children, when they're drawing, their only goal and objective is to have fun. It's not to create a beautiful or an incredible drawing. They just want to feel the pen or the crayon on the page. They just want to see what comes out at the end. So if you're in a kid-like mindset, you could kind of train yourself to be in a kid-like mindset. Basically what you'll do is when you see a drawing that normally you didn't like or normally would make you feel frustrated, you just say, that's interesting how that turned out. So don't judge your work while you're working. Another tip is to not draw from photos. Now, I know a lot of us have pictures of family members or dogs or cats that we want to draw. And what I recommend is that you draw everything from life. And not only draw from life, but draw only organic subjects. What do I mean by that? I mean like dogs, cats, people, plants, things that have organic lines versus something like a chair, which has a straight line, or a house or a book. You know, those things have straight lines. You want to draw things that have organic lines. You want to remember, this is a sprint. You want your drawing skills to increase really, really fast, right? And so in order to do that, this is what I'm recommending. It will also help you in your figure drawing. Okay, now I'm going to give you the bonus. Don't leave yet because this is going to help you so much. So the bonus is visual mentoring. You don't need to take another class. You don't need to follow another tutorial. All you need to do is do VM or visual mentoring. When I was first trying to improve my skills, I watched hours and hours and hours of tutorial videos. And in those videos, the people would do demonstration. Back then, this was on DVD. These weren't YouTube videos. I would watch like Noman workshop videos of Sid Mead working on illustrations and things like that. And these videos would be like an hour and a half, and I would watch the whole thing multiple times. I used to watch these videos even when I was working on other things. So I would be cleaning the house, or I would be working on an illustration or doing something. I would have it playing in the background. And as I'm walking through the house, I would just look up and capture different segments of the video. This is what I recommend for you, is that you watch hours and hours of demonstration videos. What's going to happen is that you're going to learn a lot about the artist's decision-making process, and you're going to internalize how they make decisions. And that's going to go into the way you work. So you find the artist that you like the most, look at their work, especially if they have demo videos available. Now, some artists don't have demo videos available and they only do tutorials, and those tutorials only teach you a specific thing. But when you watch a person do a piece of art from beginning to end, they're making thousands and thousands of decisions in that art every second. And all you have to do is just let it seep into your subconscious mind. You won't even understand what they're doing at first, but what's going to happen is over time, it's just going to come to you one day. You're going to be doing something one day that's non-art related, and then you're going to think about a certain area of the video and that you've been pondering, like, why did the person make that stroke instead of that stroke? And what happens, it'll just hit you one day. Then you go try it out and you find out that it works. This is how I learned a whole lot in drawing. By the way, if you're still with me in this video, hit that subscribe button. This is by far the best way that you could say thanks to me for the information that I'm dropping in this video. When you subscribe, it actually sends my video out to a lot of other people who need to see this information. Okay, so I've given you a lot of tips in this video, and these steps, if you take them in the sequence that I give them to you, you will get results really fast. Now, I'll tell you this, I've been teaching this stuff for about 25 years, and it's worked with pretty much all of my students. The only students that it did not work for are the people who did not follow the instructions. So you will get the results. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.